Mama needs more lipstick. Better. That was a Mac attack. Hi everyone, today we're going to make a reproduction of one of my favorite Lucille Ball dresses. This is a dress she wore in I Love Lucy many times. It has a beautiful rose pattern that goes around the waist, up the bodice, and down the skirt. It is stunning. It's one of my favorite dresses, like I said, and I have reason to believe it was also one of Lucy's favorite dresses because she and Desi made a movie called Forever Darling, and in this movie, she made almost a replica of this dress. In fact, if you didn't know better, you'd think it was the same dress. But it isn't. The dress she wears in Forever Darling has the same flower pattern up the bodice and down the skirt, just like the dress in I Love Lucy. However, it's a hostess dress, which means it's very long and it's also split up the front so that you can wear trousers underneath. And of course, it was also stunning. I didn't really care for the green color, but that might just be me. The dress we're going to make today is actually an I Love Lucy dress, and it's going to be so much fun. The pattern was difficult. Let me tell you, I did not have fun making this collar, but I am so happy with the result, and it was worth it in the end. So without further ado, let's get started. Today we're using Butterick pattern B5556. This is a retro 1955 Butterick pattern, and I think it's going to be perfect for our Lucy dress. As you can see, there are a lot of similarities between this pattern and Lucy's dress. It has the same stand-up collar that pops up in the back. It has a V-neck, a nice long full skirt, and 3/4 inch sleeves. For the fabric, I was going to go with a white cotton, but then I thought it was a little too clinical and I'm not crazy about stark white, so I decided to go with an ivory color instead and use white fabric for the lining. I have my two makeshift tables here that I've pushed together. One used to be an art table, so there's lots of paint on it, but don't worry, it's dry, it's not going to bother anything. So let's get started cutting out the pattern pieces. This took quite some time, but here's a little sample of what I did. The first step is to put the darts in the front and back bodice. This is the back bodice right here, and it has 3 little darts right here. I really love this detail. And it has a dart in the front, and it has a waist dart right here. I'm actually going to prepare the front and the back bodice for the fabric and for the lining right now. For these 3 small darts right here, I'm going to do them one by one instead of trying to iron them all at once. I just think it will work out better. One trick you can use to get your darts to match properly is stick a pin in like that into each of your markings, and then you can iron it and it will be a perfect line. With our 3 darts in place, I'm just going to iron them down. Now I have to do this for the other back side and also for the lining. But before I do that, I've got to do this dart too. Basically, there are a lot of darts. All right, so here we are at the point where we're going to put the 2 front pieces together. I have the darts in, and now we have to just see how low this is gonna go. That's actually not that low, not as low as I thought it was going to be. That's not bad. It was at this point that I realized this dress has a side zipper and not a back zipper. I do not like making side zippers. This has a side zipper! Okay, so here's the thing. I hate side zippers. I hate putting them in. I hate wearing them. There's so much I hate about side zippers. And this has a side zipper. And now, am I going to rise to the challenge of the dumb side zipper? Or am I going to just tear it apart and do a back zipper? Probably have to do the side zipper. We're just doing the side zipper. That's what we're doing. I soldiered through and I made the dress according to pattern with the side zipper. All right, so the next step is to sew these 2 front pieces together in the center. I think that might be all right. I went up a little higher than the dot, just a little bit. Yeah, that'll work, right? All right, that looks good. Now we're gonna turn this around. Ooh, still have some strings on there from when we made the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel dress. Now we're gonna stitch the back sides. And this looks like a sheet draped on the mannequin, but it's gonna be pretty in just a minute. Next, Next, we'll join everything at the shoulders, along the top, along the bottom, and the sides, and we'll have the beginnings of a top, which will be nice. I wanted to point out really quickly, if you happen to be making this pattern, one of the things that may give you pause is that the sleeves are different sizes for the front and the back. So this is the bodice front, this is the bodice back, and when you go to pin them together, I mean, it made me do a double take. They really are different sizes, so that's why it's most important to follow the directions and do the top first, because you want that extra fabric down here at the bottom. So just keep that in mind as you're working. We'll turn in the seam allowance of the sleeve. Got one side done. Oh, it's uneven. Got this little situation going on here. There we go. Problem solved, or I just created a new problem. Will it be A or will it be B? We'll find out. All right, one down and 3 more to go, because I have to do the lining as well. Got the same little situation going on over here. And no, that's not supposed to be that way, so I'm quite confident I should have cut that. We'll turn in the seam allowance of the bodice lining. This is what we have right now, and I must say it kind of looks like a peasant top at this point. The next step is to attach the lining to the bodice, and to do that we have to put wrong sides together, so this is going to be a little bit of fun. Doesn't it look like a peasant top? Looks kind of cute. You guys are probably just seeing a sea of white right now, but I hope you can tell what I'm doing. Okay, this goes... What the flip-flop? This is the front. And this is the inside-outed front. Oh no! So what happened was I put the zipper opening on the right side here and the zipper opening on the left side here. Wait. Reverse that, switch it. I put this on the right side and this on the left side. So you know what? I'm gonna go with this one, and I'm going to unpick this side and restitch this side. Be right back. This was annoying. Okay, now we should have everybody happy. And it's hard to believe that this is going to be a very nice garment when it's finished. Right now, it's a hot mess. Okay, I'm starting to like it. With everything pinned in place, I'm going to baste the neckline and slip stitch the edges of the sleeve together, and then we'll go on to the next step. Neck basted and stay stitched, and I also slip stitched both of the sleeves. It looks so nice, it's like a real garment. I always feel like handmade stuff feels so much better than the stuff you buy in the store. This has a weight to it, it's amazing. Oh, I can't wait to finish it. But we're going to put this aside for a minute and work on the collar. The next step in our adventure is to apply the interfacing to the back collar. This isn't an iron-on interfacing, but that's okay because in the instructions they assume that it's not an iron-on interfacing. So we're going to pin it in place and then baste it together. The basting is complete, but then I read that you're supposed to trim the collar pieces. So that would be right up there. That's going to cut through my basting, which is basically just 2 long threads. So a little frustrated, not gonna lie. So I guess I'll just do it and hope for the best. I think it should stay, but I'm wondering why didn't they just make the pattern this way instead of asking you to trim it afterwards? There must be a reason, but right now I don't know the reason, so it seems a little stupid. Pin undercollar to neck. Okay, so this is the undercollar. We gotta pin it to the neck. All right, let's do this. Okay, so we're gonna pin it to the inside of the neck, facing upwards like this. Pin undercollar to neck edge. Okay, pin this to the neck edge, but is this part out or is that part in? If it's out like that, then that looks silly. It looks like, oh, I'm so confused. Okay, I think I figured it out. You're supposed to baste it like this. Either I have it right or I've just added another 2 hours to my dressmaking process. As it turns out, in all of my brilliance, I actually basted this on wrong, so I'm going to correct that right now. Let me go baste this for the 100th time. No, not really, but let me go baste this again. I hate having to do things over again. And if the instructions were more clear, I wouldn't have had to do that. Yes, I'm a little bitter. Yes, I'm gonna talk about this. See you in a minute. The collar is sewn. The collar is sewn. And they say to iron this up towards the collar. So that's what we're gonna do now. We did it. No thanks to you. Ah. So pin upper collar and front facing to under collar and bodice. Okay. I am so confused. This looks like wrong side out. Turn facing to inside, turn collar right side out. So does this go on the inside or the outside? I don't know. No, I don't know. Instructions are unclear. That can't be right because these are two insides, and if I flip this inside out, does it pin to the inside? This would have to be like this. Oh, this doesn't make sense to me. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God, I hate this pattern. This color was so difficult, and I'm not going to take all the blame for it. Do you want to know why? Because the pattern pieces were wrong. The pictures didn't match up to the instructions. The instructions were vague and misleading, and my brain was about to explode. There was going to be pretty little glitter pieces of brain everywhere, and I wasn't happy. All right, check this out. Now I'm supposed to put this section on here, and if you look there, you see that the inner collar has the wrong side out. But if you look down here, they show the inner collar with the wrong side on the outside, not the inside. So wrong side on the outside, wrong side on the inside. Oh my God, they literally they're making me crazy, okay? So now I have to take this apart. Let's just say, dear viewer, the pattern needs to be updated. Yeah, I'm gonna have to beep out a lot of this because I am so mad. So now I have to take this apart again and resew it one more. Okay, we have to stop now because this is going to turn into a rant video, and it's supposed to be all about making a pretty little dress video, all right? Okay, here we go. This is the way I think it's done now. Now, with several hours of my life wasted, I can now iron this hem up. Now we've got to pin these together and this together and somehow this, I think. I don't even know why I'm bothering to look at the pictures at this point because the pictures, as we've seen, are misleading. I'm just gonna hopefully assume that this is right. So I'm gonna baste this first. Is that what it says to do? No, there's no basting here. Baste everything, it says, but when you get to this one, it just says pin upper collar and front facing and then stitch it. Yeah, if there's ever a time that basting is needed, this is it. So I'm gonna baste it. My God, this pattern is a freaking nightmare. The upper collar is pinned to the bottom collar, and what I'm not really sure about is how to deal with these seams right here, because they want to turn into themselves here, but then they're not giving really a lot of instruction on how to handle this. So I'm just kind of hoping for the best here. Another problem I'm having is there's a definite size difference between these two collars. I don't know how to reconcile that. I don't know how to make this work because this is so much bigger. Now, are the pattern pieces bigger? Aha! The 4 is not the same size as the 5. So we have an overlap of a lot. So when you go to put these two pattern pieces together, they're not actually gonna line up. Wow. Oh wow. Okay, this pattern is a nightmare. I'm gonna go about basting this. I'll be back in a minute and we'll go from there. Oh, if you could see my face right now, it's not happy. Okay, moment of truth. I'm gonna turn this inside out. Okay. What the flop? Oh my God. What the hell is happening? What is happening? What? 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 Oh my God. I hate them so much. All right, let's revisit this, shall we? It looks like that's on the outside and that is on the inside, being all everything. And now we're back to this, where this is literally wrong again. Oh my God. Oh my God. So what I should have done was left it the way it was before. These instructions are actual garbage. Throw them away. Let's do this, because they're garbage. I'm gonna take this apart. Actually, I don't have to take that apart. I just have to take this apart. Oh, I have to take everything apart. I know what the collar should look like, and if I go by their instructions, I'm gonna be here for days. So I'm gonna take this apart. Again, I've never been so frustrated with a pattern in my life. This is a really rotten pattern. And this is what makes people decide that they don't want to sew anymore, because they get patterns like these that really, really turn them off to sewing. And then they decide, you know what? This isn't worth it. And that's unfortunate, because there are a lot of really good patterns. Okay, so I'm gonna take this apart here. Okay, and we have to make the seam go on the inside, which is not what they showed in the picture, which I don't know why I was even trusting them. I keep having to take breaks because I get frustrated and I have to, like, you know, step away. I ended up taking apart this part in order to re-sew this. So let's just see how we're doing now. That's gonna work out. Let me just say, there's about 1,000 different things I would change about putting this collar together. I gotta clip the edges of this one too. Do they say to do that? No, but at this point I don't trust this pattern whatsoever. So I'm just gonna do my thing. Now I'm just going to iron this in place, and this part has to be sewn down, so I'll be doing that. And the inside of the collar needs to be slip stitched in so that it looks nice also. And then we'll be able to move on to the skirt. I'm going rogue, people. I'm gonna turn this inside out because that seems to make more sense than anything they've told us so far. Before I started sewing the neckline, I thought I should put it on the mannequin to see how it's gonna lay and kind of decide how this should fit on everything, because it looks like the collar is just all over the place. Like, I don't know if it even fits or if it even works over here. I guess when you put it in this way, like if I were to sew that in place, that's gonna look nice. It seems like it's just really tight here, so I might take off some of this excess fabric just so that we don't have this situation going, because it just seems like it's gonna be really uncomfortable. At any rate, I'm going to put this aside and think about how I want to proceed, and we're going to start working on the skirt. So now that we're back to the world of things that make sense, we're gonna stitch the two front pieces together. That would be number 9. And I've marked where the front is, so we're just gonna make a simple stitch down the front. Oh my gosh, a simple stitch. That's so easy. Can't. All right, here are my crumpled up instructions. Can't believe I'm still relying on these because I'm pretty sure they're gonna screw me up in some way. But nevertheless, here we are. Stitch one pocket section to front at each side in 1/4 inch seam. FYI, this doesn't tell you, there are no instructions. It says stitch one pocket section to lining at front each side in 1/4 inch seam, press seams towards pocket. It does not, however, tell you that you need to sew them on like this. The instructions say to press the seams towards the pocket, so I'm just gonna do that real quickly. We're going to stitch the sides together of 10 and 9, and we'll leave a small opening for the pocket so you can stick your hand in, or rather that way. Then we're going to stitch up around the pocket, and half of our skirt will be complete. This is a lot easier than dealing with that collar. Oh my goodness. Okay, look how nice that is. The pockets are done, and you can just put your, what's this? It's already turning into a 1950s dress. Look, there's a handkerchief. And, oh, Here's another one. I didn't really film it, but I have both the skirt top and the lining top together. Basically, all we're going to do is take the lining here, put it inside the skirt, and we have the wrong sides together. We have the opening for the zipper over here, and we're gonna pin these together and then sew them up and gather them. And our dress is coming along and I'm just so excited. Ugh. Oh my gosh, it's so heavy though. Like, this is a heavy, heavy dress. I was looking at Lucy's dress. Please excuse the quality of the printouts, but if you look at Lucy's dress, it's kind of pleated. Here's another one that shows how pleated it is, and it's not really gathered. And then that's just the top of the dress that I'm going to use for reference later. So instead of gathering this, which didn't really work out anyway because I had some issues, I'm gonna actually end up pleating it, and I think it's gonna look better. So I'm gonna iron this again and pleat this and attach it to the dress with the skirt completely attached to the dress now. This is inside out, by the way. We have to do the zipper. Yay me, the zipper. Okay, so I hate side zippers and it's not gonna be any fun, so I'm gonna do it off camera. There's gonna be choice words, as there always are when I do zippers. Here it is so far. At this point, it looks kind of like a nurse's uniform, and the skirt isn't really as full as I would like. I think that when they size up pattern 16 and up, something gets lost in translation. There should be another panel of fabric there, but I don't know, I'm just guessing. It just doesn't look as full as I had hoped. But that's okay, we're gonna go from here, and now we're going to start putting on the roses. We'll start by pinning on the first piece. Now, when I look at Lucy's dress, it looks like the flower petals start to come up about where the V-neck is. So that's what I'm gonna try to emulate here. Let's say about there. I decided to go with a set of floral appliques that I found on Amazon. So that's what you see me applying here. One of the other options I considered was designing my own fabric that would be identical to Lucy's dress, because her dress really does look like the pattern is actually on the fabric and it's not an applique like this one is. But when I realized that it would cost upwards of $300 just to make a dress like this, I decided that these little appliques were quite sufficient. I just realized in my excitement to put on the roses, I forgot to hem the dress. That's okay, we can do it at the end. That is looking so freaking cute. I think I need to make it just a little more even, but that is just a detail. With the front sections on, it's time to work on the back. And then we'll do the sides. And there's the back. It looks like I need to fix some things. So I didn't like that one as much, and I'm starting all over. Okay, this is trial number 2. I really like the rose in the front because that's more representative of what she has. So let's try it this way. It's not centered, but I think it's gonna work. Okay, I'm loving this. Now I think we're getting somewhere. This is really what I'm envisioning. So now that we have the front looking good, let's go to the back and redo that as well. Now the dress is looking really good. So now I'm gonna start basting all of this on here. And I'll make some changes as I go because I see that some of these need a little work. All in all, I really love how this dress turned out. I think it looks really nice. It feels sensational. I can still access the pockets in the front. It's warm, which is really important to me in the winter time. But I think this dress will also work for spring because it's flowery and it's white. But definitely it works for Christmas as well. I really feel like Lucille Ball in this, especially with this big high collar. I think it's very old world 1950s, and I really like it. Just everything about this dress is beautiful and fun, and I thought the skirt was not going to be that big, but obviously I was wrong. This is a very big skirt on this dress, And I mean, just look at that, it's amazing. Okay, so I looked up the reviews for this pattern online, and they were all glowing, like everybody had nothing but good things to say about it, which led me to the conclusion that they're either all paid to say that, or they're all lying, because this was not an easy pattern to follow. All that being said, I will admit that the dress is absolutely stunning when it's finished, and it's one of the most comfortable dresses I've ever worn. It fits like a glove. With the lining I chose, it feels really warm, which is perfect for winter. And with the red and white theme, it could really be a Christmas dress. But because it's a floral pattern and the dress is white, it can also seamlessly be worn into spring and summer. So this is a perfect dress. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe and hit that bell so you get notifications whenever I make a new dress. I plan on making this a series. I'm going to make many different things from our favorite vintage Hollywood celebrities and maybe even some celebrities from today. Let me know if you have a suggestion for a dress you'd like to see me remake in the comment section down below, and I'll see you next time.